Greetings and welcome to another Pokemon 2019 or Pokemon Journeys anime episode review. This time I'm talking about episode 38, so let's get to it. Episode 38 begins at Ceres Institute where Ash and Go are watching an advertisement on TV for the Museum of Science. They are advertising that they have the largest Shieldon to ever be restored from a fossil. Ash and Gold decide to visit the museum so that they can see this Shieldon. Meanwhile, Chloe was unsure of what to do for her research project, and her father tells her to write about fossils, so Ash and Gold drag her along to the museum. At the Museum of Science, Ash and Go marvel at the sight of fossil Pokemon. Now, the museum is in Pewter City, so it is too bad that Ash did not decide to visit Brock. Ash decides to look for the Giant Shieldon excavation since that's what they came to see, and Chloe points out where it is. Inside this big dome that has an equally large line of people that are waiting to see it. The Shieldon excavation ends up closed for the day because there's just too much people waiting in the line. Ash and Go end up depressed, but they soon find something else to do. A fossil excavation inside the museum. If they find a fossil that is in good condition, then they can have it restored into a Pokemon. So they decide to take part in the excavation and they drag Chloe along once again. It turns out that Team Rocket is also taking part in the excavation because they want a fossil Pokemon, but Jessie soon gives up and they all scurry away once they realize that Ash is there too. Ash finds what he thinks is a fossil, and the president of the museum shows up to exude love for fossils. The president looks exactly like the researcher from episode 14. Ash and Go know this as well, and they tell him that they met him before in Unova, but he tells them that he isn't the same person, that he is the president of the museum. I guess that this is another Nurse Joy, Officer Jenny situation. He proceeds to say that Ash found a fossilized Pokemon footprint, and then he shows off a claw fossil. He talks about Anorith and about fossils in general. This motivates Go and Ash, who both decide to get a fossil Pokemon, which, in Ash's case, won't happen. Unfortunately. Chloe is surprisingly also motivated to participate. Team Rocket decide to steal whatever fossil Pokemon Ash and company get. So, the search for fossils begins, and Go decides to finally use his Giant Golurk, though he uses it to search for fossils. Definitely a good use for such a powerful Pokemon. Chloe finds something that looks like a fossilized Shellder and she wonders about it, but Go ignores her since he is busy excavating. Chloe decides to take what she found to the president, and Ash goes with her while helping her carry the fossil. Instead of being absorbed in fossil searching like Go, Ash decides to be a good friend instead and he helps Chloe, which is great in my opinion, even if it means he won't get a fossil Pokemon of his own. Go and his Pokemon continue searching for fossils until the evening, but they have no luck. Chloe tells Go that time's up. He stands up and he looks around wondering how time flew by so fast. As he looks around, he spots something shining in the distance, and he runs towards it. Ash and Chloe speak about the fossil she found. Again, it's like they are in their own little world, just having fun, while Go is just focused on fossils. The shining thing that Go found is an old amber, which he gives to the president, who explains what the old amber is, and he places it in the machine so that it can be restored into a Pokemon. The process will be done in the morning, so Ash, Go, and Chloe spend the night at the Pokemon Center. Team Rocket sneak into the lab hoping to snag the fossil Pokemon, but they can't since the process will be done in the morning, so they decide to tamper with the machine hoping to speed up the process, which leads to the machine exploding. Ash, Go, and Chloe hear the explosion, they wake up and they rush to the museum. At the scene, the president explains what happened and Go worries for the safety of the fossil. However, the president assures him that the restoration was successful. Aerodactyl then shows up flying within the smoke and indoors in such a tight space somehow. Aerodactyl then escapes the lab and everyone chases after it. Ash and Chloe look around and they run into Team Rocket, who do their usual routine. Ash realizes that they are behind the machine's destruction, and Team Rocket summon their gacha machine, which gives them a Graveler and a Nidorino. Nidorino uses Venoshock while Graveler uses Rollout. Pikachu counters with Thunderbolt and hopefully it wasn't on Graveler, but at this point I wouldn't put it past Ash to use an electric move on a ground-type Pokemon. The episode then cuts to Go, who is searching for Aerodactyl. He soon finds it and he tries to reason with it, which is odd. I would expect Go to just throw a Pokeball at it. Aerodactyl refuses to calm down and it attacks using what appears to be Rock Slide or Stone Edge. Raboot tries to counter it, but it is defeated by the super effective move, so Go withdraws Raboot. It's rare to see Raboot being defeated, and it's even rarer to see it being withdrawn to its Pokeball, something that has not happened since the episode it was caught in. So, Go sends out his Golurk instead. Finally, he decides to use Golurk in battle after 24 episodes. Raboot just had to get wrecked for it to happen. Aerodactyl attacks Golurk multiple times with what appears to be Wing Attack. Golurk takes the hits, but then it guards itself and it counters with Flash Cannon, which Aerodactyl easily dodges. Golurk fires off another Flash Cannon, and Aerodactyl counters with what appears to be Dragon Pulse, followed by an Iron Head that lands a clean hit on Golurk. Aerodactyl then uses Dragon Pulse again, which Golurk blocks. At this point, Go was amazed by Aerodactyl's power, and so was I. I honestly thought that maybe Go could not defeat Aerodactyl, so Ash would have to help him, which in turn could mean that Ash might catch it. Also, Aerodactyl has a pretty good moveset. Go decides to keep battling, and Chloe arrives to tell him that Ash is battling Team Rocket. Go says that he can't help because his hands are full. The episode then cuts to Ash, who is still battling Team Rocket. Nidorino uses Poison Sting and Pikachu runs away from it. Graveler chases after Pikachu, attempting to use Tackle on it. Pikachu uses Electro Web on some trees, and he slips through the web. Graveler keeps chasing after Pikachu, and it ends up charging straight into the Electro Web, which launches Graveler towards Nidorino and then towards Team Rocket. And so, Team Rocket blasts off again. Electro Web ended up working on a ground-type Pokemon, which I guess it's because it was used as a trap instead of being used as an actual move, but it is still unusual. The episode then cuts to Go, who is still battling Aerodactyl. Golurk manages to stop Iron Head with his bare hands, and it hits Aerodactyl with Hammer Arm. Golurk then uses Flash Cannon to defeat Aerodactyl. Go approaches Aerodactyl, who is still hostile. Go reasons with it, and he comforts Aerodactyl, who allows itself to be caught by Go. This was very much an Ash-style capture, since Go earned Aerodactyl's trust and approval before catching it, as opposed to simply throwing a Pokeball at it. Ash and Chloe both rejoice because Go ended up catching Aerodactyl. The episode then cuts to Cerise Institute, where Go shares what happened with Professor Cerise. Ash exclaims that he had a lot of fun, and Chloe is shown smiling earnestly. Chloe is getting kinder and sweeter with each adventure she has with Ash and Go. The episode ends with the narrator saying that Ash and Chloe grew through their interactions with fossil Pokemon, which is weird. I know that Chloe did grow with the experience. She grew to love fossils and to appreciate Pokemon more, while also expressing joy for things like Go catching Aerodactyl. But I failed to see how Ash grew from this experience. Ash was kinder to Chloe and more considerate of her in this episode. He chose to help her and to talk to her over searching for fossils like Go was, even though Ash was also eager to get a fossil himself. Go was simply obsessed with digging up fossils, and that was all he was thinking about, while Ash chose to help a friend over adamantly pursuing his own goal. In the past, Ash has always been inclined to lose himself in what he wants to do, to the point that he forgets about everything around him. So you could say that he showed a higher level of maturity in this episode, since he opted to keep a cool head and he opted to be more supportive instead of going wild following his own agenda like a child. So, I guess that he did indeed grow in this episode, which is nice to see. But that's the episode. So, in the end, Go caught Aerodactyl, which is unfortunate, especially considering how strong Aerodactyl is. But at this point, I am used to this. Go will catch most of the Pokemon that show up, including amazing Pokemon like Flygon and Aerodactyl. I definitely don't agree with it, mostly because Go just doesn't use his Pokemon that often. It took him 24 episodes to use his Golurk, for instance. So, Pokemon like Flygon and Aerodactyl are wasted on him, since they will barely get any use at all. Ash would at least use them to battle every now and then. I just hope that Ash catches something new soon, and I hope that it's something amazing. Something that will make up for such a long gap between captures. But that's the video. As always, leave your own thoughts down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and would like to see more like it, then please consider subscribing to my channel. I love Pokemon and I love making videos on both the anime and the games. Also, please consider clicking the links on screen so that you can check out more videos like this right away. Thank you very much for watching, and let's meet again in the next video.